Floods hit parts of Saudi Arabia. Heavy rainfall on multiple routes throughout the kingdom since last week. We will reforestation with water collected from flash floods. Imagine a barren desert stretching as far as the eye can see. Look, seems unsuitable for any form of life. However, beneath this barren land lies an ancient groundwater treasure, untapped for centuries. How did Saudi Arabia unlock the potential of these fossil waters? What does this mean for the global agricultural landscape? Join us. Let's uncover Saudi Arabia's technological advances that shocked the world. From the desert to the farmland, Saudi Arabia, officially known as the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, it is a large country in West Asia covering the Arabian Peninsula. Imagine a country over 1 million square kilometers, making it the 5th largest country in Asia and the largest in the Middle East. It is surrounded by water, and to the west is the Red Sea. Jordan, Iraq, and Kuwait to the north. To the east is the Persian Gulf, and to the south are Oman and Yemen. Bahrain, a small island nation, is nearby and to the east. Now imagine this diverse landscape. From the desert to the lush mountains, even some grasslands and forests, he's like a mixed terrain. But despite Saudi Arabia's popularity, he has been battling the big problem of desertification. This means that the desert is expanding where it shouldn't be. Yet that's where the story is fascinating. Recently, Saudi Arabia has accomplished a remarkable feat. With modern technology, they turned the endless desert into green farmland. This is a notable shift. The water here is very precious. Saudi Arabia gets only 4 inches of rain a year, is one of the most water-scarce countries in the world. Although most people can access to drinking water, but there is still a severe shortage. Consider that the absolute minimum amount of water required per person per year is 500 cubic meters. Saudi Arabia produces only 89.5 cubic meters per person per year. The money is not enough for everyone. Traditionally, one might consider oil to be Saudi Arabia's most valuable resource. But the problem is that with less and less groundwater and ocean water, water resources are becoming more and more precious. The situation is getting worse. Almost all of the fresh water here comes from underground. They consume quickly. Therefore, although Saudi Arabia might look like an oil-rich country, but he is now turning his attention to a more valuable resource, water. How does Saudi Arabia solve the problem of insufficient water for agriculture? In the past 30 years, agriculture in Saudi Arabia has made incredible progress. Although it's one of the driest places on earth, with only 4 inches of rain a year, but they managed to turn large swaths of desert into farmland. Now Saudi Arabia not only grows food for itself, also ships a variety of cuisines around the world. Dates, eggs, fish, chicken, fruits, vegetables, and flowers. It is mainly the work of the Ministry of Agriculture to achieve all this. Then the Saudi Arabian Agricultural Bank, subsidies and interest-free loans to farmers. In addition, the government has invested funds in reclaiming land, for research and projects in agriculture. But guess what? Private sector, also in the story that made Saudi Arabia an agricultural success, played an important role. How the government provides interest-free long-term loans to individuals and companies, provide technical assistance, and provide free fertilizer and seeds, cheap water and electricity, and benefits such as tax exemptions for farm tools and materials. With all this teamwork, Saudi Arabia's agricultural boom is unprecedented. Before the 1970s, agriculture in the Arabian Peninsula is mainly confined to a small coastal area and scattered oases. People mainly grow their own dates and some vegetables. The excess is sold to passing caravans. Then things changed. The government is busy building roads, irrigation systems, and places where crops are stored and sold. They also set up schools and research centers to help farmers do better. Suddenly, more food is being grown. Saudi Arabia no longer even needs to import meat, milk, and eggs, because they can produce their own. Water is key. Saudi Arabia needs a lot of oil to achieve an agricultural boom. So they came up with a plan. They built dams to stop the flood, dig deep wells to get into underground reservoirs, and even making machines to turn salt water into fresh water, leaving more conventional water for agriculture. They also figured out how to use runoff from cities and factories to irrigate crops. All these changes have turned large swaths of desert into fields. As early as 1976, there are less than 400,000 acres of farmland here. But fast forward to the 21st century, millions of acres of land are used to grow crops. Quite a shift, right? It is worth noting that, although much of Saudi Arabia is covered in desert, but surprisingly, many native plant species are able to survive harsh climates. But sadly, about 600 of these plants are at risk. 21 of these mega natures have disappeared forever. Initiating sustainable development. The Saudi Green Initiative SGI is a big plan for Saudi Arabia, creating a greener and better future for everyone. He combined different departments of government. Leaders of private companies and other countries gathered together, working together on 2 green projects. These projects help find quick ways to tackle climate change. The SGI has some big goals to reach by 2030. They want to get half of Saudi Arabia's energy from renewable energy, planting 10 billion trees, rehabilitation of 40 million hectares of land, protect 30% of land and sea. 77 projects are working to achieve these goals, and committed to achieving them. They also launched the Middle East Green Initiative to help achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. In addressing climate issues and achieving sustainable development, SGI follows 4 important principles. One of the big ideas is the Circular Carbon Economy CCE. It has more than 30 items, combining climate change with economic development. They are focused on ensuring that their increased pollution, not more than the pollution they take away, balance economic growth with environmental protection. They are also trying to involve young people in the program. There is a summit specially held for them called the Youth Green Initiative Summit. He helps young Saudi leaders learn how to make things more sustainable. Saudi Arabia also leads another large project called the Middle East Green Initiative. It's a way to make the whole region more sustainable and plans to combat climate change. They want to reduce carbon dioxide emissions. Carbon dioxide is a gas that causes climate change, about 10% of the world's emissions. The plan announced by Mohammed bin Salman, with some ambitious goals, including innovation, working with other countries, and trying to maintain the natural balance. Middle East Green Initiative is tackling climate change and improving the lives of everyone in the region and beyond. A big step forward. Saudi Arabia has been a leader in investing in and changing traditional oil energy sources. The country recognizes that it is the world's largest oil exporter, also wants to take a leadership role on climate issues. Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and Minister of Energy, Prince Abdulaziz bin Salman, at the 27th UN Climate Summit in Egypt. An important announcement was made. They say Saudi Arabia will spend the next decade $1 billion to Saudi and Middle East green initiatives. The country's large investment fund is called the Public Investment Fund, aiming to focus on sustainable development, achieve proximity emissions by 2050. In addition, Abdul Achi, Capital Prince Salman, talks about plans to build Carbon Economy Knowledge Center and announced that by the end of 2023, 3 new projects in the New Goose plan to trade greenhouse gases. Saudi Arabia wants to develop renewable energy, add 840 megawatts of solar power, and launch a program to encourage projects that reduce emissions. By 2023, these initiatives have achieved a lot in terms of the environment. They provided clean energy to 150,000 homes, 114 gigawatts of renewable energy were built, 10 million smart meters installed, 1 million tons of carbon dioxide emissions are reduced every year. These initiatives are also an important part of the circular carbon economy approach, with the support of many countries, and has led the Middle East Green Initiative to work together in the region. Great progress has also been made in water conservation and agriculture. They have managed to reduce agricultural water use by 1 billion cubic meters. And they planted 18 million trees, rehabilitated 60,000 hectares of land, trying to stop the spread of the desert on the ruined land. 250,000 shrubs and nurseries were planted in just 1 year. These efforts are not just to save the environment, they have also successfully transferred more than 1,200 animals back to their natural home. Real progress has been made in realizing their vision for the environment. In rural Saudi Arabia, greening efforts to make the land greener face challenges, such as the expansion of deserts, lack of water and hot weather. All of this is caused by humans changing the climate. SGI also works with these rural areas to protect their unique flora and fauna. Now, there are 15 special places in Saudi Arabia, protected because of plants and animals. 12 of them are on land, 3 on the ocean. But soon, that number will rise to 75. 62 of them are on land, 13 at sea. A large sanctuary is the King. Located in the north of the World Nature Reserve, it is large, accounting for about 6% of Saudi Arabia's land. There, you'll find all sorts of animals, like 300 different species, and even something from a long time ago, such as ancient scenic spots thousands of years ago. The reserve has mountains, vast plains, and large flat areas. Recently, with the help of volunteers, working with the modern reserve, they planted 100,000 seedlings. It's reserve leadership and partner help. As part of SGI's plan, the goal is to get more plants to grow in the reserve. They have grown 600,000 plants and many other planting projects to achieve this goal. These new plants are the kind that can live for a long time. They can survive in the desert because they've been there for a long time. They don't need a lot of them. Water to grow, which is perfect for desert climates. The establishment of the main nursery is only part of the reserve plan. A seating plan has been started. However, in Saudi Arabia, getting enough water is still protecting nature and a big problem in implementing green projects. Over time, people in Arabia dug wells to get fresh water and survived the bad weather. Then, in the 1970s, when Saudi Arabia became very rich, people began to use modern agricultural methods to deplete groundwater bit by bit to help keep the city away from the coast. Saudi Arabia makes large machines known as desalination plants, turn salt water into fresh water. But Saudi Arabia has no rivers or lakes. There is also little rain to fill the water. As more and more people need water, natural sources of water are rapidly depleting. Therefore, the Saudi government is trying to find better ways to conserve and use water to keep pace with economic growth and preserve green space. King Abdullah University, Desert Agricultural Science and Technology Center, Maria Nawa, a scientist with the Green Arab Project, told Arab News, SGI's leadership team may use treated wastewater to water their new plants. He also said that they wanted to absorb the rain by letting the sand and keep it in the ground to stop the waste of rain, especially where the soil is not good at storing water. Nawa explained that plants in cities, plants that grow in desert areas, need more water and shade. Desert plants are accustomed to dry conditions, doesn't require much water or shade. Renaissance Al Bida. The Al Bida project is located in rural western Saudi Arabia, not just a restoration job. This is a project aimed at restoring land, a comprehensive plan for poverty alleviation and heritage preservation. According to the principles of permaculture and hydrological design, the initiative aims to create sustainable solutions to the challenges in the region. The province of Makkah, about 50 kilometers south of Mecca. Al Bida is known for its rugged arid terrain. The area sits at the foot of the Sigus Mountains, mainly inhabited by Arab tribes. They have long called the area home. In 2009, Princess Al Faisal of Haifa and Harvard University ethicist Mona Hamdi and Stanford University perpetuator Neil Sparkman co-sponsored the Al Bida project. The project has begun to adopt innovative methods of land management and resource use, practical and ecological benefits for the community. The project aims to address environmental and socio-economic issues in the region. The main aim of the project is, by providing residents with Al Bida, training related to infrastructure and capacity building activities undertaken by the project, education and employment opportunities to empower residents. Combating desertification is one of Alberta's main environmental objectives. This is mainly achieved through rainwater harvesting technology, like using rock terraces and a small command dam called Gabion, and capture of forbidden flow in the channel. These methods help to plant drought-resistant trees in natural landscapes, such as date palms. In addition, the project focuses on mitigating flash floods in the highlands, eventually turning it into a seasonal stream or river. Looking to the future, Austrian hopes to adopt assisted natural regeneration and methods such as conservation grazing, transform the area into a full grassland ecosystem. This shift is expected to result in LAPO transport and atmospheric moisture recovery and other processes help. In 2016, the Al Bida project was highly praised by Prince Khalid Faisal. Led by the people of Al Bida, the project is considered an excellent example of humanitarian sustainability and innovation at the national level. Yet, in the same year, funding for the project was halted. project leader Niels Peckman had to stop supplying water to irrigation pipes. This led to the tragic sight of trees beginning to wither and die. Speckman questioned everyone involved in the project, saying the real test will be to see if the trees survived without frequent watering, and surprisingly in the following winter, the trees not only survived but thrived. Demonstrates the effectiveness of ancient terraced farming methods. In a documentary released in 2020, Speckman expressed his admiration for the Al-Bada project, calling it an outstanding example of renewable agriculture. He sees the project as a blueprint for the reforestation of vast desert landscapes in the Arabian Peninsula and beyond, highlighting sustainable agricultural practices that transform arid regions into thriving ecosystems with the potential for diverse growth and global impact. Over the years, Saudi Arabia's agricultural landscape has undergone major changes, retracing the country's traditional diet. Thanks to advances in agriculture, there are now a wide variety of local foods to choose from that would have been unthinkable a few generations ago. While early is still an important part of the diet, they are no longer the sole staple they once were. About 450 different dates are produced each year, totaling about 500,000 tons. A large part of this early money goes to international humanitarian aid, donating tens of thousands of tons each year through the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations and the World Food Programme. There is even a factory in Al Musa that specializes in producing dates for foreign aid. Saudi Arabia's contribution to the World Food Programme has directly benefited many countries, making it the second largest donor to the program after the United States. The government has played an important role in the development of the agricultural sector through various initiatives, including the provision of soft loans at low interest rates and the provision of technical and support services. In addition, subsidies for water, fuel and electricity, as well as duty-free imports of equipment and raw materials, have also contributed to the development of the agricultural sector. And tax exemption for up to 10 years for foreign joint ventures. To further incentivize investment in agriculture, the Ministry of Agriculture takes the lead in developing agricultural policies and supports farmers through research and extension efforts. Saudi Arabia's Agricultural Bank SAB provides aid and interest-free loans to farmers, while also investing in infrastructure such as flour factories and animal feed production facilities to support agricultural expansion. Founded in 1972, Jiakang Lotus Know House plays a vital role in the storage and distribution of agricultural products. In addition, Saudi Arabia has invested heavily in improving transportation infrastructure and connecting agricultural areas to consumer markets. In order to encourage private investment, the Land Allocation and Reclamation Program, launched in 1968, aims to allocate free land to fellow citizens to encourage farming and increase crop and livestock production within 2 to 5 years. Participants in the scheme must reweight at least 1/4 of the total land area allocated to them. After meeting this requirement, they are granted full ownership of the land they farm. And the government remains committed to supporting new farmers by promoting capital-intensive projects aimed at diversifying and improving agricultural efficiency. In addition, the government has invested in research projects to develop new food crops, improve harvests, and create plant varieties that are resistant to pests, all of which are aimed at increasing agricultural productivity. These research projects are carried out in collaboration with local farmers and scientists at the Agricultural Research Center of Saudi Arabian universities and colleges. This achievement is particularly noteworthy for a country that relies on imports for 90% of fresh food each. With simple clay river water, transforming a rated desert landscape into a lush orchard is remarkable. Similar agricultural transformations have taken place throughout history. Parts of Egypt's Nile Delta flourished in the 1980s despite being close to the desert. The Delta has long been known for its fertile lands, attracting a civilization they built to flourish. The productivity of the Delta sustained the community for thousands of years, leading to cultural achievements that continue to this day. Yet, fertility rates began to decline rapidly in a short period of time. Researchers found that the fertility of the land is closely related to the annual flooding of the Nile River. In late summer, floods will submerge the delta plains of Egypt, from East Africa to Liu Yuchen, whose minerals make nutrients and clay particles. These sediments enrich the land of the delta, making it fertile. Now is today's user selection time. In the vast desert of Saudi Arabia, where tales of ancient miracles mingle with whispers of modern miracles, a strange discovery has captured the imagination of American scientists. In the scorching sun group, researchers stumbled upon a hidden oasis, whose water glowed like a liquid in the relentless heat. Attracted by the hope of scientific discovery, they dig deeper and deeper, unaware of the secrets buried under the sand. In their search for artifacts lost over time, they found a room that had not been touched for centuries. Within its confines lies a mystery, wrapped in mystery, primitive mechanisms fluctuating with other-worldly energies. Just when scientists were puzzled about its use, rumors spread in the desert wind, and some people said that this was a creature from other planets made by a Saudi Arabian prince, further igniting their curiosity. This could be the key to the mystery of the universe. In the pursuit of knowledge, they dare to activate this mechanism, releasing an organ that is difficult to understand. The lights flickered, the colors were invisible to ordinary people, and the air was filled with the crackle of electric light, as if time itself paused to witness this momentous moment. After their discovery, scientists could only be surprised by the scale of what they witnessed. The headlines stirred the world. The announcement that Saudi Arabia is self-sufficient in dairy products and wheat shocked American scientists. Through a combination of government funding and private enterprise, Saudi Arabia has achieved self-sufficiency in dairy production. The government invested in dairy farms and processing facilities, while the private sector innovated through new technologies and production methods. This cooperation has enabled Saudi Arabia to produce sufficient milk and dairy products to meet its own needs. In 2008, the Saudi government launched the National Dairy Project, with the goal of becoming self-sufficient in dairy products by 2013. The plan includes strategies such as providing subsidies to dairy farmers, building new dairy farms and processing facilities, and improving dairy production technology. In recent years, local companies have pioneered innovative technologies such as robotic milking systems and artificial intelligence that monitors the health of cows. These advances have greatly improved the efficiency of dairy production across the country. As a result of these combined efforts, Saudi Arabia has exceeded its dairy production targets. In 2019, the country produced 1 million tons of milk, exceeding domestic demand of 1 million tons. Achieving dairy self-sufficiency has given Saudi Arabia several advantages, including reduced dependence on imports, job creation in the dairy industry, and consumers' access to higher quality dairy products. Despite the lack of rivers, Saudi Arabia has become the world's 7th largest wheat exporter, thanks to cutting-edge technology and government support. The country's massive investment in drip irrigation, a method of delivering water directly to the roots of plants, has revolutionized agricultural efficiency. Unlike traditional slow tanks, drip irrigation saves water and reduces waste. In addition to technological advances, government subsidies have also promoted wheat cultivation in desert areas. These subsidies offset high water and input costs, making wheat farming profitable. As a result, Saudi Arabia has become an important wheat exporter, exporting 10 million tons in 2020. Yet, the country is phasing out a 30-year wheat planting program due to depleted water resources. To address the drought, the government is developing plans to gradually reduce the annual purchase of wheat from local farmers by 12.5%. Despite the challenges, Saudi Arabia remained committed to ensuring food security through strategic planning and innovation. Digging for ancient water sources. For the past 24 years, Saudi Arabia has been using ancient groundwater reserves to grow crops like wheat in the Syrian desert. The practice was captured by Benazir and Time Series images taken by 3 different Landsat satellites managed by the US Geological Survey. The greenery of the desert at the last Glacier 17 is sustained by water that seeps into the aquifer, which is now buried deep beneath the sand of the desert. These fossil waters, combined with water, accumulated for hundreds of thousands of years to become the main source of irrigation. Saudi Arabia uses a technique called central hub irrigation, in which boreholes are drilled into these groundwater reservoirs on the desert surface, and then sprinkler systems are used to irrigate crops. Yet, The water is non-renewable because the area receives very little rainfall each year. Hydrologists estimate that, economically speaking, pumping will last only about 50 years. Although the exact amount of water beneath the desert is unknown, the agricultural area depicted in the road's image is about 1 kilometer wide. These images use specific wavelengths of light to generate high amounts of healthy vegetation. Slightly bright green dry areas are orange. Urban areas appear purple, while graded lands appear deep pink. Various irrigation methods such as a Wegan and sprinkler irrigation system, it is used to save water and optimize crop growth. Precision farming technologies such as soil moisture sensors and computerized decision support tools help farmers efficiently schedule irrigation and improve profitability. Despite the benefits of irrigation technologies, challenges such as high cost, small-scale farms, and limited access to knowledge and resources have hindered their widespread adoption. In addition, factors such as poor connectivity may limit the use of precision farming tools, especially in rural areas. Landsat has played an important role in providing scientific data since the early 1980s, with Landsat 5 setting an operational lifetime record for its last transmission in 2011. The Earth Resources Satellite 7, launched in 1999, is still in operation today. Our understanding of everything from forest health, storm patterns, agricultural transfers and urban development has improved considerably, thanks to data collected by satellites like Landsat. Agriculture in the Saudi Arabian desert is similar to mining for gold. Deserts cover about 1/3 of the Earth's land surface and are characterized by low rainfall, sandy soil, high temperature, and low water supply. Despite harsh conditions, millions of people depend on desert areas for their livelihoods.
Yet fragile.
Of food networks, biodiversity and deserts are under threat, underscoring the importance of organizations like the International Center for Agricultural Research in the arid region of Kaltay. CAR played a crucial role in the revolution in desert agriculture by promoting integrated desert family farming systems. These systems combine traditional farming methods with modern cost-effective techniques. According to Dr. Zakir Ali, Deputy Director of the Jakarta Research Department, innovative technologies such as drip irrigation and drip irrigation have significantly increased crop yields while saving water and energy. By combining these technologies with local realities and involving stakeholders from different sectors, the Meitsui technologies are all designed to transform desert agriculture in a sustainable way. Dry areas produce a large portion of the world's food, including half of its livestock, and feed more than 1 billion people. Despite low rainfall, some 40 million people live in desert areas and rely on desert agriculture for food and employment.
Yet many challenges.
Taken together, they threaten the viability of desert agriculture and require innovative solutions to achieve its sustainability. Families and farmers living in desert areas face many challenges ranging from climate change and population pressure to poor land management practices and extreme weather conditions. These difficulties are further exacerbated by factors such as low soil fertility, limited organic matter and water scarcity, as well as high evaporation rates and geographical isolation from markets and energy sources. In spite of these formidable challenges, barren doves and technological advances have expanded desert agriculture beyond traditional oasis agriculture. Technologies such as irrigation systems allow farmers to use water more efficiently, reducing the amount of water used per acre in orchards and vineyards.
Yet, despite
these efficient technologies bring benefits such as increased irrigated land and the cultivation of water-intensive crops, but they can lead to higher overall water use. Given the need to address water shortages in regions of the United States, policymakers are exploring options to mitigate the impact of irrigated agriculture. These options include promoting the adoption of more efficient irrigation techniques, such as irrigation scheduling, and the use of precision farming tools, such as weather monitors and soil moisture sensors. These measures are aimed at optimizing the use of water resources and improving the sustainability of agriculture in water-stressed areas. What do you think of Saudi Arabia's progress in agricultural technology? Let us know in the comments below what your opinion still has.